Salute, Nick family. Welcome to the channel, Dope Soul Sports Talk, Dope Soul Knicks Talk, a member of the NBK family. Who's happy this morning? The Knicks won their seventh straight game, beating Brooklyn in blowout fashion. Actually, let me get back to that. Sorry. Beating Brooklyn in blowout fashion, 142 to 118. The Knicks, obviously they're on fire, but the business-like manner in which they're approaching these games is unbelievable, right? I said, if the Knicks can win this game, that's telling me they're about business because, Brooklyn, they lost to them last week or whenever it was. They were going to come in ready, right? Let me see if the Knicks are up for the task. It wasn't even an issue. It was not even an issue. It was another total team effort, right? The Knicks defense was on point. All right, in the second half, they had some lapses, but for the most part, they were on point. Let's get into this. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Those who are going to be joining later. The replay gang, I appreciate you for listening later. All right, let's get into it. Let's just set this up before we really get into it. The Knicks came into this game 9 games over 500, 36-27, fifth in the Eastern Conference. Over their last 10 games, they have won 8, including 6 straight. The Knicks are on fire, right? Brooklyn came into this game 34-27, sixth in the Eastern Conference, winning only 3 games over their last 10 and losing 3 straight. We started the usual: Brunson, Grimes, RJ, Randle, Mitchell Robinson, who's playing very well, by the way. They started Spencer Dinwiddie, Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, who had a monster game, Dorian Finney-Smith, Nick Claxton. Ben Simmons was out for this game. All right. I can't even, I'm going to have to read this off, right? Like I said, the Knicks came into this game meaning business right from the tip and basically just blew them out. They have 47 first quarter points, 87 first half points, right? The third most points in a half in New York Knicks history, right? They have 14 threes in the first half, which tied a Knicks record, a franchise record for most three-pointers in a half. They hit 9 of their first 11 threes. And the Knicks are not a real good three-point shooting team. I think we're ranked somewhere in the 20s in three-point percentage. They shot 57% from 3 tonight. Brunson had 30 points in the first half, the most in his career. He finished with 39 in the game. He took 18 shots. He had 39 points on 18 shots. He hit 16 of them. He only had 9 points in the second half, but this is the thing with Brunson. He's about winning. They double teamed him. What did he do? He passed the ball. He didn't force it. He wasn't like, oh, I'm hot, let me take these bad shots. No. You want to double team me? Take the ball out of my hands? No problem. He passed the ball, right? And the rest of the team was hitting. Grimes, we'll talk about Grimes, 22 points, 6 3-pointers from the beginning, So Grimes played well. Randle had a near triple-double, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. There were 6 players in double figures. Brooklyn cut the lead to 17 a few times, but this is not the Knicks that we saw in the first part of the season, that couldn't hold the lead, that didn't know how to win games, that would give up, couldn't win, during crunch time. This is a different type of Knicks team, right? So they cut it to 17 a few times, and the Knicks answered every time, right? This is the NBA. Teams are going to go on runs. You can't expect to maintain a 27-point lead, even a 20-point lead, right? Teams are going to make runs. What are you going to do? Are you going to get those timely shots? Are you going to get those timely stops? And the Knicks were able to do that. And then we had our 2 Harts doing the intangibles, doing the little things. Josh Hart is up for a contract, right? A lot of what he does is not, it's just not in the stat sheet, So I'm hopefully the Knicks are aware of that. I'm sure they are. And they're not in the negotiating room bringing up his stats, right? because what he does goes well beyond the stat sheet, and he makes us better. To his credit, the Knicks are 6-0 since he came here, and obviously he doesn't want to take credit for that, and he shouldn't. I don't think it's all because of Josh Hart that we're 6-0, but his energy and the way he plays and the little things that he does has a lot to do with it. Let me check in with the chat before I get to my next point. Jeff Clafter, we curb stomping folks now. I mean, the Knicks won this game pretty much beginning to end. I mean, maybe in the first minute or so, similar to the Boston game, there was some lead changes. But after that, like the first few minutes of the first quarter to the end of the game, it was all Knicks. Jeff Clafter again, lead never got below 17 in the second half either. Correct. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Heavy Reese 33, I appreciate you joining us. Ajay, I appreciate you as well. Jay Boogie, good morning, chat. Blessings, health, and happiness. 10 games above 500. I believe this matches the games that the Knicks were over 500 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. 1.5 games behind Danny's trade to Cleveland. I woke up feeling my dream this morning. Brunson, Jaylen Brown, Ingram, Julius, Mitch, and Sales. Listen, if we could get Jaylen Brown and Brandon Ingram, one of my favorite players, but injury prone, I wouldn't be mad. I would not be mad. Shout out to Harlem Girl, Geraldine. All right, let's get back to it. We talked about Grimes. I just want to talk about the ball movement. The Knicks had 28 assists. They shot 60% from the field. I think the only point I want to make is ball movement is not dependent on your offense. Like a lot of people get on tips. Oh, he's running this ISO heavy offense. That's why there's no ball movement. No, you can run a motion offense and the ball can stop with a player, right? Ask D'Antoni, when he was trying to run a motion, a more free flowing offense when Melo was here. So you can try to run a motion offense, but it could stop with a player. You can run a pick and roll offense and get a lot of ball movement if you got players who are reading the defense, willing to make the extra pass. Excuse me. So it's not the offense. Last night, the same offense, but the ball was moving. Why? Because when Julius was double teamed, he passed the ball. When Brunson was double teamed, he passed the ball. And players were hitting. The teammates were hitting. The Knicks shot 60% from the field last night. If you're somebody who feels that you can get your shot off of anybody and you're getting double teamed and you're passing the ball and your teammates are not hitting shots, you feel like, listen, I'm going to take this contested shot. I got just as good a chance. You know what I mean? So it works both ways. You got to have the willingness to pass it, and then you got to have teammates that's knocking down shots. And the Knicks did that last night. All right. Like I said, they shot lights out, 60% from the field, 57% from three. Not great from the free throw line, just 66.7%. Grimes had 6 3-pointers. Brunson had 5 3-pointers. Randle had 4 3-pointers. The Knicks, I mean, there's really not much to say about last night's game. The Knicks played good defense. They played with a lot of energy. They passed the ball, and they shot lights out. That's it. There's not really much to say about that, about last night's game. Jerrell, my point guard, is unguardable one-on-one. Every team we play needs help. There's no doubt about it. Say what you want, about, they taller, they longer. You want to stop Jaylen Brunson, send a double team. That's how you stop him. Same for Randle. You're going to have to send a double team because one-on-one, those two guys can score on anybody. Jeff Clafter, that's correct. We hit 41-31, a season high on the last game of the season 2 years ago. Yeah. Angel Torres, the Knicks are on fire. Yes, he is. Paris Duggar, we got to stop. If we can get anything else, we just got to keep building up the talent that is here. I agree with that. But if the Knicks can bring in, somebody else, well, I'll put it this way. I think that Brunson and Randle, and I'm sure some others on the team have not hit their ceiling, right? So there is definitely room for internal growth. That being said, if the Knicks can bring in somebody else that's going to make this team even better, do it. Do it. You got to take advantage of your window. You can't sit here waiting for guys to grow and not try to upgrade your team. Everybody does it. Even Boston brought in a center at the trade deadline, trying to upgrade their team. Miami brought in Kevin Love, trying to upgrade their team, right? You can never stop trying to upgrade your team. Pudge Knight still not a believer in Tibbs. Let's see Tibbs coaching the playoffs. Listen, let's see the players playing in the playoffs. Tibbs is not doing anything different right now than he's been doing all season. What's the difference? The players are playing better. That's the difference. The defense ain't different. The offense ain't different. What's different? Players are playing. This is a players' league. And I'm not saying the coach doesn't make a difference. They can make difference here and there. But the bottom line is you win with a good roster, with good players that have good chemistry. That's how you win in this league. Tibbs doing the same thing. We up 20 or close to 20 with 4 minutes left, started still in the game, right? Obi Toppin came out the game at the same time he usually comes out the game, even though the Knicks were up 20. He has his script. He has his philosophy. He's sticking to the script. He's sticking to the philosophy. What's the difference now? The team is playing better. The players are playing better. Randle is playing lights out. Brunson is playing lights out. RJ has been a bit more efficient since the All-Star break. We'll get into that. He has more of his type of players playing. That's the difference. Tibbs is the same. He might make a little adjustment here and there. Like we double teamed Embiid when we played Philly. I was shocked because I would like to see more of that, getting the ball out of the other team's best player. So he'll do something different here and there. But for the most part, Tibbs is Tibbs. But you get him his players, give him a good roster, and this is for any coach, and you give that coach the best chance of winning. Ashley Inc. Tibbs' performance has improved from a B- to an A+ third quarter. If he keeps improvement, he will earn an A by the end. A+ will only happen with a ring or at least an Eastern Conference final. Ashley Inc., stop giving me the business. All right? I gave him an A+. You want to give him an A, a B, or whatever? I mean, we just see it different. That's all. Building blocks, payback for that thrashing we took earlier this season in the Barclays, but I believe Durant and or Kyrie played in that game. Paris Duggar, it's our athleticism on defense which is causing these games to be blowouts. I mean, listen, we was athletic all season, and our defense wasn't great. I just think the Knicks are locked in. The defense is up a level. The offense is better, and the chemistry is good. Ajay, I appreciate you. Hopefully you're on, tonight, the Just Nicking It show, 9:00 tonight. Do we want to play pretty and lose or play ugly and win? If the ISO ball is working, keep doing it. Yeah. The Public Enemy #1, appreciate you. The Knicks was back up by 27, and Jalen Brunson was still on the court, still hurting from the injury early in the game, and with 30-plus points, Brunson should have been on the bench, McBride playing. Yeah, listen, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Tibbs is Tibbs. That's just what it is. Shout out to Pamela Willis. Listen on Facebook. Appreciate you, sis. Deron Wayne, the only negative yesterday is that JB said that his knee was still bothering him after the game. Yeah, he didn't want to go come out the game. I don't know. I mean, they're competitors, on the team. He looked all right when he dropped that 39, you know. All right. I just want to talk briefly. The Knicks are 1.5 games out of 4th. Let me put this so you guys can see this. So we're talking about, can the Knicks get the 5th seed by the end of the season? They made easy work of that. Obviously, they have to continue to play well to keep the 5th seed. But right now, they're 2 games ahead of Brooklyn and 3.5 games ahead of Miami, who we play Friday. We win that game, we're going to be 4.5 games ahead of Miami, right? Right now, we're just a game and a half behind Cleveland for the 4th spot and home court advantage in the playoffs if we can keep it, right? I still expect some juggling between 4 through 7 even, depending on how the Knicks play. I mean, we're 3.5 games above Miami, but 3.5 games above the 7th seed, right? If the bottom falls out a little bit, the Knicks can find themselves tumbling down as well. However, the business-like manner in which the Knicks are approaching these games, I don't think the bottom is going to fall out at all. I think if they continue to play on this clip, they're going to win 50 games. Can they continue this clip? Probably not, right? But just a game and a half out of Cleveland. I'm not sure. I think we play Cleveland at least one more time, at least once more this season. All right. This is I like showing this slide just so you can get a sense of the flow of the game. And you can see probably midway through the first quarter, not even, maybe a quarter through the first quarter, it was all Knicks to the end of the game, similar to Boston. And remember, Atlanta was a wire-to-wire win. And this is just telling you that the Knicks are coming out sharp and they're maintaining throughout the course of the game. Atlanta, Boston, and now Brooklyn. The Knicks are sharp. The biggest lead Brooklyn had was 3 points. That was probably early in the game. Maybe it was 3-zip. That might have been the lead that they had, right? And the Knicks had a 30-point lead. That was the largest lead, 30 points. There was 3 lead changes, again, early in the first quarter. The Knicks are playing really, really good basketball. And you know what I like about Brunson and Randle? When Randle has it going, Brunson takes a back seat. There's no need to force it, and try to, I got to get my points because this other guy is scoring. Just relax. Let the game come to you. This guy is baking. Let him bake. And the same thing last night with Brunson. In the first quarter, Brunson had it going on. Randle just took a step back. There's no need to force it. We're on the same team. So I really like the way those two guys are playing off of each other. All right. Individual stats: Brunson 39 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 3-pointers shot, 83.3% from the field, 16 for 18. Lights out. Randle 21 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 3-pointers, 46.7% from the field. Grimes 22 points, 3 rebounds, 6 3-pointers, 66.7% from the field, 6 players in double figures. Listen, I mean, Grimes doesn't have to go, I don't know what he was from 3, 6 for 7, 6 for 8. I mean, he doesn't have to shoot lights out. But if he's making threes the way he made them last night, the Knicks are an even better team. Because when you're double teaming Randle or double teaming Brunson and that ball, and they pass the ball out, you got to have guys hitting those shots, right? Now, when those guys start hitting shots, now the defense have to decide, should we even double team? We're going to have to take off the double team because they're passing it to whoever, and that guy is hitting shots. We can't cover everybody. So we're going to have to take off the double team. You take off the double team, now Randle and Brunson are able to do their thing. That's why it's important for the other guys around them to hit their shots off of the double team. All right, Brooklyn Cameron Johnson was on point, 33 points, 3 rebounds, 1 block, 7 3-pointers, 72.2% from the field. Bridges, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal and a block. Cam Thomas, 15 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. And Dinwiddie, who did not shoot well, I think he shot 30% from the field last night, didn't hit a three-pointer, missed all his three-pointers, if I'm not mistaken. 11 points, 10 assists, 2 rebounds. We went over the Knicks numbers, 61% from the field, 57% from 3. Did not shoot well from the three-point line. Went there 21 times and hit 14 of them for 66.7%. All right. So I want to talk about a few other players. Mitchell Robinson, 13 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. Mitchell Robinson was extremely active. He was all over the place. This was his 4th double-double since returning after the All-Star break. And he is averaging 11 points, 12 rebounds in 28 minutes since his return. And he looks different. You know, he's stronger. He's rebounding better. You know, I'm happy. You know, out of his 10 rebounds, 7 of them was defensive. And you see him getting defensive rebounds in traffic, rebounding strong. This is what I'm talking about. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Mitchell Robinson. We talked about Quentin Grimes. Emmanuel Quickley, 15 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 3-pointers, right? He played well. RJ Barrett, you know, only took 11 shots. You know, this is what a lot of the fan base has been clamoring for, right? Bring your shots down. Took 11 shots, shot 45.5% from the field, 100% from 3. He hit both of his 3-pointers. Not that great as most of the Knicks weren't. 3 of 5 from the free throw line. And since the All-Star break, which is 4 games, RJ Barrett is averaging 16 points on 12 shots. He's only taking 12 shots a game on average since the All-Star break. 16 points. He's shooting 45.8% from the field, 57.1% from the three-point line, and 80% from the free throw line. Right? So since the All-Star break, offensively, he's been playing very well. And even defensively, there's more activity. He's still getting blown by, though. I think that has a lot to do with just the lack of lateral quickness, but the intensity and the effort is definitely there on the defensive end. He's taking 12 shots a game. So he's brought the volume of his shots down, and he's shooting better. And that's what some Knicks fans were asking for. Maybe he'll shoot better if he shoots less. And so far, that's been the case. Listen, Hart and Josh Hart, these guys, Hart 8 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block. Hart could have had like 16 points, right? He missed 2 or 3 chippies in this game, a layup, so he could have had even more than that. And this is what I'm saying with Josh Hart. What he does doesn't always show up in the stat sheet. He had 4 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, a block, which in 26 minutes. And some people, could look at that and be like, all right, that's okay. That's okay. But when you watch him play, you can really understand what he brings to the table. All right, let me check in with the chat before we get into some other stuff. Paris Duggar still saw major IQ issues with Randle, RJ IQ in the third quarter. I hear you. Pudge Nice, Cavs versus Knicks in the first round. Jerrell, Tibbs will always be Tibbs. You either like him or don't, but he's not changing. Sherwin, Ashley Inc. 1 is Wiz. Ignore him when it comes to the runner-up for Coach of the Year. Jerrell is right. Tibbs, you either like or you don't. I liked him from the beginning. Do I like every single thing he does? No, I don't. But overall, he's a quality coach. Pamela Willis, appreciate you, sis. Jay Hart is bringing a lot of energy, and it's that spreads around the whole team. It's exactly. It's infectious the way he plays, and you need those type of guys. You need those glue guys. You need those connectors. You need those guys that's not worrying about scoring. If you need me to score, all right, I could do that. You need me to hit a three, all right, I could do that. Rebounding, all right, I could do that as well. But the defense is always there, diving for loose balls, second chance opportunities. He's been a great um, addition to the team. Jeff Clapster, Mitch got them boards up for you. Another double-double. Yeah. Keith Turner, I'm just chilling, watching the games with no expectations and watch it all play out. That's a good place to be. No expectations and just see how it goes. Listen, I'm looking forward to the playoffs. I just want to see where we're at. I want to see how the team performs in the playoffs. And obviously, I want to see how individuals perform in the playoffs, right? You want to be a star? It starts in the playoffs, Salute Drugs Only. I appreciate you. CAA Mafia. If we can lure Jaylen Brown away from the Celtics this summer, we would be the best team in the East. Now, to Paris Duggar point, he's saying that you can't have basically a lot of alphas on the team, a lot of ball dominant players on the team. Listen, I mean, in a way, I agree, but we already see that there's enough room for 3 top players. There's enough room. Obviously, if you're bringing in Jaylen Brown, one of those top 3 is going to have to go. It's probably not going to be on the team, right? If we get an opportunity to get Jaylen Brown, you got to bring him in. We'll work it out. Jerrell Randle was sharp with his passes out of the double team last night, played very well. Yes, he did. I think there was, some sloppiness on the entire team's part in the second half. But when you got a 27 point lead, you're going to see some sloppy play. Salute Ron, still Knicks fans. What's good, family? Salute to the chat. Salute to staff. The Knicks have finally arrived. We can sense the confidence that they have. They know they can play with every team. Exactly. Think about Boston. I think it was last season. How they struggled throughout, I don't know, the first quarter, maybe even the first half of the season. Then they hit their stride. I think it was, I want to say after the All-Star break. It could have been before that. Next thing you know, they went on a run to the finals, and now they're championship contenders, right? So Tatum and Brown, like I've said before, weren't always the Tatum and Brown that we know now. They had to grow into that. Same thing with Randle and Brunson and everybody else on this team. They have to grow into it, right? They haven't reached their ceiling, in my opinion. Yeah, Jay Hart was plus 30 last night. Sharon, I love Brandon Ingram, Sharon. I've been calling for Brandon Ingram for like 2-3 years right now, but he's so injury prone though. But I like him. Okay. Keith Turner, I'm ready to pay IQ. We should have paid him instead of RJ, but that's a story for another day. Jay Boogie, I think he's talking about RJ Barrett. 12 good shots is better than 19 bad shots. Everybody needs to do what's best for the team. We are becoming a serious problem. Definitely. Smash that like button. We got 106 in the chat. I don't have this up on YouTube, so I don't know how many likes we have. But please hit that like button. Shotgunner, appreciate you for joining us this morning. I told you Queen IQ is a starting point guard in the NBA now. His defense is top notch. Maybe he is, but he won't get that chance on the Knicks, right? So if he's going to be a starting point guard in this league, it's going to have to be on another team. Hopefully not. Hopefully we re-sign him and he's okay with the role that he has now, because this is going to be it for as long as he's a Knick, in my opinion. Keith Turner, if you still hating on Julius Randle at this point, seek some help. I'm very proud of Julius Randle. Yeah, I think the Tibbs hate, the Julius hate. Listen, I'm all for calling out a player when they're not playing well. But when they start playing well, the narrative has to change, right? Nice. Appreciate you joining us. 46 and 31, Knicks rebounding. Yeah, those numbers are beautiful. Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's get to the team stats. Knicks with 28 assists. We talked about them shooting lights out. 60% from the field, 57% from three. Not that well from the free throw line. They out-rebounded Brooklyn 46 to 31. Second chance points 19 to 5. Points in the paint 56 to 4. I mean, the Knicks are bigger than them. And the Knicks just have really good rebounders on this team. Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, Hartenstein, Josh Hart, right? Josh Hart's rebounds are down probably on the season because there's just not enough left, because he's on the team with really good rebounders. Their bench outscored ours last night, surprisingly, 39 to 32. Silk Sutton, appreciate you. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. Next year, send RJ for Ingram. When Zion gets hurt, RJ will play every game. Ingram missing piece for the timeline. Yeah, I don't have a problem with Ingram. Yeah, even with the injuries, I just like him. Salute to DJ Space Ghost. I appreciate you. Canal Band Lawyer, are we the 2004 Pistons? I mean, people will say that you can't win like that in this league. Listen, there's different ways to win a championship. With Golden State, what did they say? Oh, you can't win a championship being a jump shooting team. And they did it. There's different ways to win. The bottom line is you got to play better than the other teams. You got to have somebody that you can go to in the clutch. And we do. You got to have players that can score. And we do. You got to play good defense. And we do. You know what I mean? Do I think we can stand to upgrade the roster some? I do. But the better Randle and Brunson plays and the longer period of time they do what they do, you have to get to a point where you're like, this is just who they are. They're not just having a good season. They're not just having a good stretch. This is who they are. They are. And the better Brunson and Randle are, the less you need. Right? Just as simple as that. Neither of those guys, in my opinion, have hit their ceiling, and neither one of them are in their prime. I think Randle is just approaching his prime. Pudge Nice signed Melo to help Randle if he falls in the play. Listen, let me tell you what's going to help Randle. The rest of the team playing better. That's what's going to help any good player. You can't expect one player to drag your team across the playoff line, or that one player to win a series for you. Teams are smart. You're playing a team for 7 games. They know who the best players are, right? There's no surprises. They're going to double team Randle. They're going to double team Brunson. If the rest of the team comes through, the Knicks win. If they double team those guys and Grimes is not hitting shots and RJ Barrett is shooting 28% from the field and Mitch is not rebounding, the Knicks are going to lose. Right? Yes, you do need those guys to show up, but the better the other players play around them, the less crowded they're going to be, the more space they're going to have to do what they do. Right? And we saw that last night. Right? You couldn't key on anybody. All right, you want to double team me? I'm going to throw it to Grimes. Grimes was hitting his shots. The Knicks scored 142 points, right? So it's not just those guys being willing to pass. It's about those other guys hitting the shots. So I'm it's going to be interesting. Let's just put it this way. All eyes on Brunson and Tibbs in the playoffs. Brunson don't play no defense. Well, I think he tries, but I think he does have physical limitations. No doubt about it. RJ is 39 going on 40. He couldn't play defense when he was young. Why do we want a grandfather on our team? Okay. All right. We went over this. Knicks are 5th, 2 games ahead of Brooklyn, 3.5 games ahead of Miami, and 1.5 games behind Cleveland. Can somebody check and see how many games we have left against Cleveland? All right, Jay Boogie, until somebody eliminates us, my mind frame is going to be in championship mode. Wow. DJ Space Ghost, we have something special. As long as they stay focused, we're going to surprise teams in the playoffs. Block 53, appreciate you joining us. Bumping Cleveland, first round in the East. Wow. Yeah. Wayne Peterson, add Cam Johnson to this team with him and Grimes on the wings. I think we can become a top 4 team consistently. Jerrell, if we get Ingram, the Knicks fans are going to want 2 panel shows a week. For real. It's going to be a lot to talk about. This guy is good. If he could just stay, healthy. But I'll take my chances if we able to get him. And listen, I know we're saying Ingram is not available. The truth of the matter is, when Ingram was out and Zion was healthy, they were 2nd or 3rd in the Western Conference, and I think they had won like 10 straight. Zion is out. Ingram is healthy. I don't know. Where are they? 7th, 8th in the Eastern Conference. They had one point, they had went on a, 7, 8, 9 game losing streak. It's possible the front office say, listen, we got to hook our wagon to Zion. If we get a good offer for, Brandon Ingram, maybe we should look at it. Even if it is RJ Barrett who struggled, he's a friend of Zion. He's an Iron Man. He shows up every game. He's making less money. Can somebody check that? I believe he's making less money than Ingram per year. I don't know. It may not be out of the realm of possibility. All right, let me read the super chat before we get into our next game against Miami. Paris Duggar, appreciate the super chat. Like a broken record, I'll say again, keep the group together. They're a close family and bring out the best in one another. We already can win it all. We shall see. We shall see. But Paris, I'm going to say the same thing. Every team upgrades. Every team upgrades. Now, are you saying just upgrade around the fringes? But every team has to upgrade, right? Obviously, when we go into the playoffs, depending on how we do, the Knicks will decide what we need to do to upgrade. But every team upgrades. You cannot stay pat, right? You identify your core. Those are the players that are reasonably untouchable, right? Obviously, if a superstar comes along, even they're on the table. Same thing with Jaylen Brown. He's reasonably untouchable. But when KD became available, they put him up on the trade block, right? So you got to upgrade the team. Every team does it. But I hear what you're saying. Your preference is not to make any changes and just go with internal growth. I hear you. Leighton Griffiths, we're talking like this team can't win this year. We shall see. I mean, anything is possible. Building blocks, Nola is probably going to want RJ plus IQ plus 3 first-round picks for nah. I mean, you might be right, but I ain't doing it. Sherwin, RJ, Obi, and a second for Ingram. The only way they would do that is if they just had enough of his injuries, had enough of him not playing, got a glimpse of what the team was with Zion, who's also injured. They got 2 injury-prone guys. Um, um, and feel like they want to get off of his salary. Parrish Duggar, big fact. So Jay Boogie also doesn't want to make any changes. Efrain Lopez, our upgrade may be just time for Grimes and IQ to develop. Yeah, definitely. I'm just saying it's rare that any team doesn't upgrade. It's very rare. King Ribby says the Bucks don't really upgrade. They don't upgrade their core, but around the fringes, they do upgrade. So this is what I'm saying. Are we saying no upgrades, period? Or are we saying just don't mess with the core? Because when I'm looking at this, the 9-man rotation, there's a few spots we can upgrade in that 9-man rotation now. All right. We play Miami on Friday. I thought coming into this week, I thought this would be a big game to gain some separation against Miami, but we're already 3.5 games ahead of them. But we see them 3 more times, right? We see them Friday and then 2 more times after that. So the Knicks need to be on point. We went over this. The Knicks are 37-27, 10 games over 500, 5th in the Eastern Conference, 9-1 over their last 10. They've won 7 straight. Over the last 10 games, the Knicks are 2nd in offensive rating, 6th in defensive rating, and 2nd in net rating, which is phenomenal. Miami Heat are 33-30, 7th in the Eastern Conference, 4-6 over their last 10. They lost last night to Philly. They're 27th over their last 10. They're 27th in offense, 13th in defense, and 25th in net rating. Listen, Miami is not a good offensive team. They're not. They're on the season, they're 26th in offensive rating, and over the last 10, they're 27th in offensive. They're just not a good offensive team, but they are a very good defensive team. They're top 6 for the season and 13th over their last 10. So they remind me a little bit of the Knicks 2 seasons ago, where your defense had to be on point because you just didn't really have the offense to make up for poor defense. And that's what Miami reminds me of, right? The Knicks, they're going to have their hands full. The Knicks are 2nd over their last 10 in offensive rating and 5th in offensive rating for the season. The Knicks can put points on the board, right? So if Miami has any shot at winning this game, their top-ranked defense has to be on super point, right? Because they just don't score enough. The Knicks, on the other hand, can put points on the board, and over their last 10, their defense has been really good. 6th, giving up 110 points per 100 possessions and scoring 122 points per 100 possession, right? For a difference of 12.3. I mean, the Knicks over their last 10 games have been on fire. Now, but Miami, Spoelstra, they're not going to give up. They're going to be up for this game. They're going to have to decide. They don't have, if you look at their starting unit, these 5 players that start the last 2 games, Gabe Vincent, Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, Kevin Love, just got off the bus or plane, however he got there, and he's starting 2 games for them already, and Bam Adebayo. They're going to have to choose, who's playing Brunson, who's playing Randle. Will Bam be able to do what he does against Mitchell Robinson? Maybe. Hopefully, Mitch's length and mobility will bother him a little bit more than Sims, who didn't have the length, and Hartenstein, who didn't have the mobility. We shall see. But the Knicks, in my opinion, should win this game, even at Miami. But again, Spoelstra is probably going to throw double teams. They're going to do things that defensively that the Knicks may or may not have seen this season, right? They don't usually play straight up man-to-man defense. They'll throw traps. They'll do this. They'll do different things. They might play a zone. You know, if the Knicks are hitting their 3-point shots, it's not going to even matter. The Knicks are moving the ball and hitting shots. The zone is not going to matter, right? All right. Where to find me tonight? The Just Nicking It show. Me, Jerrell, Staffordon, Ajay, and whoever else want to join us, DM me for the link. I'll be back Saturday for the morning recap show of the Miami Heat, and then Monday, 8:30, I do the weekly show on the Nothing But Knicks channel with a panel where we go over the week's slate of games. All right. Let me just give some shout outs on my way out the door. Ephraim Lopez, appreciate you. Ashley Inc. 1, Wiz West Coast, appreciate you. The Coolest 718, Jeff Clafter, Parrish, Duggar, Ricardo, Thuney _ got it. Ron, still Nick fans. Hope all is well with you and your fam. Sherwin, Building Block, Shotgunner in the house. King Ribby, RN, Deron Wayne. Let me. Brandon Schutz. I hope I got that. Scuts or Schutz? Probably Scuts. I hope I got that right. Jay Boogie. Block 53. Jerrell. Kenya Smith. Appreciate you, sis, for joining us. Good morning on Facebook. Huge Knick fan. Always has been. Feel free to come on one of the shows. All right. Sherwin and Ashley Inc. going at it. Tim Smith. I appreciate you. Josh Hart only took 3 shots. Team first always with him. Yeah, no doubt about it. Pudge Knight. Kareem Grant. I appreciate you. Good morning. All right. I think I got everybody. Nice. Drugs Only. I appreciate you. Geraldine MacGyver. Harlem Girl. Salute. Appreciate you. All right. If I missed anybody, y'all know my condition. All right, we're going to go out with Jay Boogie's song, The Biggest. Until next time, family, don't forget the Just Nicking It show. If you appreciate the content, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, 104 in the chat. I don't know what the like button says, but that's a way to help the channel. Until next time.
I heard a rumor. This guy right here, Jay Boogie, presenting Knicks in the booth is gonna be fire.
Hey. They say we everywhere. We all over the place. If you don't see us, that means you ain't nowhere. You heard? We all over. The headline of the city, the post paper, the daily paper, everywhere in the city. Knick Chronicles, baby. Let's get it. When you talking to Knicks, we the biggest. Fan base in the league, we the biggest. When you see them, you tell them they the biggest. The most loyal people, we the biggest. When you talking to Knicks, we the biggest. Fan base in the league, we the biggest. When you see them, you tell them they the biggest. The most loyal people, we the biggest. It's game time, tell them, yeah, we outside. You know my voice, the young Mr. Wall Clyde. They say this year we blessed, there's some new hope. I'm courtside next to Tracy Morgan Road. We so official, every game is sold out. You see the fan stars, them carpets rolled out. I'm on this track, NBA and a Bleach report. Don't even ask for a short, this ain't a Newport. Flash report, tell them this is just in. You see Max outside, just don't let him in. I walk the streets every day with some grown men. I go left, cross back like I'm Brunson. Who that is? Jay Boogie, I'm so nice. I need a little bit more than yesterday's price. When you see him, you tell him, your boy, I'm locked in. I'm well surrounded with fans, we in the garden. When you talking to Knicks, we the biggest. Fan base in the league, we the biggest. When you see them, you tell them they the biggest. The most loyal people, we the biggest. When you talking to Knicks, we the biggest. Fan base in the league, we the biggest. When you see them, you tell them they the biggest. The most loyal people, we the biggest. If you ain't orange or blue, then you can't relate. I had them toxic boys that air your Twitter space. A lot of people right now, they on clickbait. I had your forehead looking like your Stephen A. All the real creators be on the podcast. Take a look at the chat, you get my broadcast. The forecast is scattered with a lot of rain. My floor poison, pill jerk by Danny Ainge. New squad, new season, it's a new team. Shout out to Harlem Girl and Miss Geraldine. Play the youth, the kids, they gon' play hard. For 4 years, I just signed a 9-guard. The way we look right now, this a Nick thing. I might bring with the flow, so this here bang. Shout out the real ones that'll stay loyal. All the Nets fans, we know it's disloyal. When you talking to Knicks, we the biggest. Fan base in the league, we the biggest. When you see them, you tell them they the biggest. The most loyal people, we the biggest. When you talking to Knicks, we the biggest. Fan base in the league, we the biggest. When you see them, you tell them they the biggest. The most loyal people, we the biggest. When you come to the city and play for the Knicks, you're gonna get the biggest and most appreciated love. We the best people it is in the world that's gonna support our squad, support our team, you dig? We the biggest.
New York Knicks, we are the biggest.
This is Jen from Knicks Army fans, and I want to let you know right now, if you didn't know before, New York Knicks, we the biggest, baby. Let's go.